Good evening. Welcome to the regular meeting of the St. Mary Parish School Board on March 13th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. Dr. Fagenbush, can you call roll, please?
Ms. Brent? Here. Ms. Moore? Here. Ms. Anselm?
Present.
Ms. Jones? Here. Ms. Griffin? Here. Ms. LaSalle? Mr. Guillory?
Here.
Mr. Parody?
Here.
Mr. Mancuso?
Here.
Ms. Dennis? Here. And Ms. Black?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. If you are able to, please stand for the invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening, everyone. Would you please bow your heads for a moment of prayer? Father God, we come before your holy presence with thanksgiving and praise for all of your bountiful blessings that you continue to provide to all of us. We thank you for giving your godly wisdom to Dr. Fagenbush, Ms. Black, and all other school board members as they make decisions tonight that will allow our school district to continue to excel and prosper. We thank you for keeping our schools and everyone associated as safe as possible. And thank you for blessing and protecting our St. Mary Parish, our state of Louisiana, and most importantly, thank you for continuing to bless, prosper, and protect our United States of America. We ask these blessings in your name, in the name of Jesus. Amen.
All right. Next is our introduction of students and employees of the month. We're going to do a little shifting. We're going to have Wyandotte Elementary School up first.
Good evening. I'm going to start with our student of the month. Our student of the month is Mr. Bentley Bigler. He's kind of hiding behind me over here. Bentley is a fifth grader at Wyandotte Elementary, and he's also our student of the year. Today with him are his mother and father, Lauren and Brock Bigler, his sister, who is also a little wildcat, Miss Eliana Bigler, and his grandparents, Danielle and Trent Bigler, and Donna and Jamie Cheeley. As I said, Bentley is a fifth grader. He has earned honor roll or principal's list each 9 weeks since he began first grade. He's a member of our Beta Club and recently participated in our first Beta convention. He has exceeded his AR goal for the third 9 weeks and currently has 20.8 points in AR for the third 9 weeks. He currently is on the 21st level in Lexia, which is the last level in our reading intervention program. After that, he'll start working on some junior high skills. Bentley models wildcat behavior throughout the school by being respectful, working hard, and preparing for success. In his free time, Bentley enjoys playing baseball and hanging out with his friends. Fun fact, he found out he was student of the year on the back of a baseball card. Bentley's ELA teacher, Ms. Vining, says that Bentley is a great student. He is a leader in and out of class. He is outgoing and friendly. He enjoys sports and being with his friends. He has such a promising future ahead of him, and we know that he does. Bentley's math teacher, Ms. Rogers, said that Bentley always tries his best. He gets along with his peers and has been a great addition to our Wyandotte family. He actually joined us this year, so we got a winner with us. I'm looking forward to all the great things that Bentley will accomplish in the future. Bentley, we want you to let you know we are proud of you. Thank you for representing Wyandotte. Congratulations. And our employee of the month is also our teacher of the year, Miss May Klein. Miss Klein is our 4th grade math and science teacher, and we could not be more grateful for all she does for our school and our students. Miss Klein is the mother of 2 sons. Both of her sons are in college. She began subbing at Wyandotte in 2015 and was hired in 2016. She served as a math interventionist and in our Fast Forward lab. And while working, she completed the iTeach program in 2020 and became a certified teacher the same year. I don't know if Ms. Klein knows this, and I'll try not to cry as I say it. But when I went to Wyandotte for my interview for a teaching position, I walked in the office and I got greeted with the warmest smile, the friendliest face, and come to find out it was Ms. Klein. I thought it was an office staff member. Turns out she was just in there. But she showed such kindness to someone just coming in, and it stuck with me ever since that day. The kindness that I saw from her that day is the kindness that we get from Ms. Klein every single day. Whenever we visit her classroom, I always tell everybody, you don't go in for an observation, you go in for an experience. Her room is an entire experience. The love that she shares with her kids, their enthusiasm for learning, their willingness to help each other, and she models for them by letting them know it's okay to make mistakes. So when they make mistakes, they know it's okay, and I'll move on, and it's just an entire experience. Ms. Klein has been recognized for her VAM achievement for the last 3 years, resulting from the growth and progress her students have shown on the LEAP assessment. She meets her students where they are and gets them where they need to be. Her partner teacher, Ms. Leonard, says, Ms. Klein is an absolute joy to work with. She is one of the hardest working teachers I know. When it comes to collaborating and making team decisions, Ms. May makes the process effortless. She's a prime example of the phrase, hard work pays off. And she added, have you seen her LEAP scores? Every day that she has served as a teacher, Ms. May has been uplifting, motivating, and most of all, kind. Also, Ms. May does not only work hard inside the school, she also works hard outside the school. Ms. Klein is a first-degree black belt in jiu-jitsu. And I've seen her come to work with 2 braces on her arm and continue rolling on, so she's a warrior. I could go on and on for days about Miss May, but she's humble, she doesn't like attention, and she's a black belt, I'm a little afraid. So, from our Wildcat family, thank you, we love you, we appreciate you.
All right, next up, Franklin Junior High School.
Good afternoon. Up first is Miss Evelyn Hernandez. Evelyn is our student of the month as well as our student of the year. Evelyn is an 8th grade student at Franklin Junior. She is the daughter of Miss Irma Ayla and Marvin Hernandez. Today she has with her her mom and dad and her sister Eileen Hernandez. Evelyn's hobbies include baking, reading, and drawing. While at Franklin Junior High, she's actively involved in 4-H, Beta, and gardening club. Evelyn also maintains a 4.0 GPA throughout her middle school years as well as her elementary school years. Evelyn plans to attend, after graduating from high school, she plans to attend a reputable college which is economically accessible to her family, and these are the words of Evelyn. We are very proud at Franklin Junior High of the accomplishments that Evelyn have and will continue to achieve. We are very proud to have Evelyn a part of our Franklin Junior High School family. Up next is Miss Summer Lede. Miss Lede is our teacher of the month as well as our teacher of the year. Miss Summer Lede is a seventh grade math teacher at Franklin Junior High School. She earned her Bachelor's of Science in General Studies from the University of Louisiana at Monroe in 2016. Currently, she is working on becoming a mentor teacher through APEL. Mrs. Lede's educational journey began in 2008 when she started as a paraeducator at Patterson Junior High School. While there, she provided service in inclusion, self-contained classes, and proctored the Fast Forward program. She also served as acting teacher for the self-contained resource class. In 2018, Ms. Lede joined the Franklin Junior High School team as a math teacher. She taught sixth grade for 2 years, then a combination of sixth and seventh, and she's currently in her third year teaching seventh grade as well as pre-algebra. As an educator, Ms. Lede is passionate about promoting academic achievement. Ms. Lede strives to provide positive experiences and build lasting relationships with her students. Ms. Lede achieved notable milestones in her professional journey, including being part of our PBIS team and Title I teams. She is currently our SBLC Committee 504 chairperson. While leading the Renaissance Club, she's a sponsor of the Beta Club, and she also serves as a Star Academy Advisor Council. We are very happy that Ms. Lede decided to journey from Wade Patterson to Franklin to become part of our team. We are glad that she's with us. So on today, on behalf of the Franklin Junior High School faculty and staff, we congratulate Ms. Evelyn Hernandez and Ms. Summer Lede for representing our school for the 24-25 school year as Student of the Year and Teacher of the Year.
Next up is Patterson High School.
All right, good evening, board members. We're so excited to be here today to express the excitement of these beautiful young ladies I have behind me. So first, we're gonna start with Kaylee Benjamin. I am honored to stand before you today to celebrate our Student of the Month and PHS Student of the Year, Ms. Kaylee Benjamin. This award recognizes a student who has demonstrated exceptional dedication, hard work, and a positive attitude both in and out of the classroom. Kaylee has big plans for her future. She aspires to attend the University of Louisiana at Lafayette and major in early childhood education. Yay! This goal reflects her passion for learning and her desire to make a positive impact on the lives of young children. We have no doubt that Kaylee will excel in this field and continue to inspire others with her dedication and kindness. Kaylee has demonstrated outstanding leadership skills serving as the president of the Key Club and the executive president of Student Council. These roles have allowed her to lead by example, organize events, and make meaningful contributions to our school community. Kaylee is also actively involved in numerous school-based organizations, including the National Honor Society, Senior Mentor Program, Educators Rising Club, DECA Club, Student Council, Insight, Key Club, Art Club, Winter Guard, the Timberland Regiment, and Talented Music Program. Her participation in these organizations showcases her diverse talents and commitment to making our school a better place. Academically, Kaylee has excelled as a PHS crackerjack and has consistently made the honor roll. These achievements highlight her dedication to maintaining a high academic standards and a strong work ethic. Kaylee, we are incredibly proud of you and all that you have accomplished. Your dedication, kindness, and positive attitude make you a deserving recipient of this award. Keep up the fantastic work and continue to inspire those around you. When you leave PHS, remember success and nothing less in all things that you do. Let's give a round of applause to our Student of the Month, Kaylee Benjamin. Oh, almost forgot to announce is if you're representing Kaylee and Tina, can y'all please stand? We got teachers, we have parents, all of us are here. So thank y'all, family, teachers, and everybody for being here tonight. Okay. It is a great pleasure that we gather here today to honor an exceptional educator who has made a significant impact on our school community. Please join me in congratulating our Teacher of the Month, Teacher of the Year, and St. Mary Parish Teacher of the Year, High School Teacher of the Year, Miss Tina Johnson. Ms. Johnson is a certified English teacher who brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise to our school. She teaches English 3, dual enrollment English, and the foundations of education, providing her students with a comprehensive and enriching learning experience. Her innovative methods and engaging lessons have not only made learning enjoyable, but have also inspired students to reach their full potential. Whether it's through creative projects, interactive discussions, or personalized support, Ms. Johnson consistently goes above and beyond to ensure every student succeeds. In addition to her outstanding teaching, Ms. Johnson serves as a mentor teacher, guiding and supporting her colleagues in their professional growth. She is also the sponsor of Key Club and the Ed Rising Club, fostering leadership and community service among our students. Her involvement in the instructional leader team also demonstrates her commitment to improving our school's educational practices and outcomes. Ms. Johnson plays a vital role in organizing important school events. She is the committee chair of both the Black History Month program and prom, ensuring these events are meaningful and memorable for our students and community. We are incredibly fortunate to have Ms. Johnson as part of our team. Her hard work, dedication, and passion for education makes a lasting difference in the lives of our students and contribute to the overall success of PHS. Please join me in celebrating Tina Johnson and her outstanding achievements. Thank you, Ms. Johnson, for exceptional contributions and for making our school a better place. Lots of love to you.
right, next up, recognition of newly appointed positions. Ms. Este.
Okay, please join me in recognizing Mrs. Jackie Jackson, who's accompanied by her husband and her little boy. Ms. Jackson is a proud alumna of Franklin Senior High School and earned a bachelor's degree from McNeese State University. And she's currently pursuing her master's degree in healthcare administration at the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. In her previous roles, Ms. Jackson has gained valuable knowledge as an accountant at St. Mary Community Action Agency and various roles at Tesh Action, such as Accounting Assistant 1, Assistant Chief Operating Officer, Regional Operations Site Manager for the region, and Patient Services Analysis and Compliance Coordinator. We are thrilled to have her as part of our team. Her positive energy, infectious smile, and enthusiastic personality make a wonderful addition to our organization. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Jackie Jackson.
Thank you, Ms. Este. Good afternoon, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Jackie Jackson. I'm a native and a current resident of Franklin, Louisiana. Accepting the purchasing agent role gives me the opportunity to serve the same school system that has helped me blossom into the graduate student that I am today. With my husband, son, and loved ones, I would like to thank the board members and senior leadership for this opportunity. Thank you.
Okay, next, join me in recognizing Mr. Mason Foray, who's accompanied by his wife and his 3 little ones. Mr. Foray earned his bachelor's degree in accounting at Nicholls State University. He began his career in the banking industry as a compliance reporting specialist, then transitioned to Crosby Energy Services, where he served as the accountant and the head of accounts payable department. We are proud to have him join our team. His extensive knowledge in accounting, coupled with his calm demeanor, will be a valuable addition to our organization. Mr. Mason Foray.
If I talk too long, he's going to try to steal the mic, so I got to rush through it. This has been a great blessing in my life. God has seen fit to bless me with a lot of things, so I pray that I'll be able to use those blessings for the good of the community, for the good of my family, for the good of this organization. So I just thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome to St. Mary Parish. All right, next up, approval of no amended agenda. So we'll move to approval of the official school board minutes. We'll do them in globo for the regular meeting from February 13, 2025, and the special meeting from February 19, 2025. What are the wishes of Mr. Mancuso makes a motion to approve. Ms. Moore seconds. Any discussion or questions? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next will be the approval of the consent agenda. The items preceded with an asterisk will constitute the consent agenda, with board members being able to remove any items so desired. All remaining items will constitute the finalized consent agenda and be voted on all together. Dr. Fagenbush, please read the items on the consent agenda.
Number 1, field trips. A, Franklin Junior High, Disney World, Orlando, Florida, May 22nd through the 26th, 2025. B, Morgan City High School, Mississippi State University STEM Camp, Starkville, Mississippi, June 23rd through the 27th, 2025. C, Morgan City High School Naval Air Station National Flight Camp, Pensacola, Florida, June 22nd through the 27th, 2025. D, Patterson High School Disney Youth Leadership Program and National Beta Convention, June 18th through the 27th, 2025. Number 2, proclamations. A, National School Social Work Week. B, Read Across America Day. And C, National School Breakfast Week.
All right, what are the wishes of the board?
I'll move to make a motion to accept the.
All right, Ms. Ansel makes a motion, Ms. Jones seconds. Any discussions? All those in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, under Personnel, approval of instructional calendar for the 2025-2026 school year. Ms. Estes.
Sorry. Dr. Fagenbush had sent out the calendar. We had two different calendars. The difference was Mardi Gras, where the teachers were able to vote, or employees were able to vote on having a week off for Mardi Gras, and then coming the last day of school being May 26th. And then the other one was taking the 3 days of Mardi Gras and the last day of school being the 22nd. So the vote, as you can see in the board book, was to have a week off for Mardi Gras. So the next page is the actual calendar. Looks much like last year. We just, adjusted the dates, and everything else is pretty much standard.
All right, thank you. What are the wishes of the board?
I make a
Ms. Ansel.
motion to accept the calendar that was wildly approved in the district. And as a parent, I am very thankful for a whole week of Mardi Gras for vacation.
All right, Ms. Ansel makes the motion, Ms. Brent seconds it. Any discussion or questions? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, permission to advertise for bid 16 section land S16T17SR12E Sweet Bay Paradise. Mr. Wise.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is one of our hunting leases. It's located south of the Intercoastal and or south of the Berwick Boat Landing. Our previous leaser withdrew from the lease, so at this time we're asking to put this lease back up for bid. We currently were making $10,246 per year on this lease. So at this time, I would like to advertise for bid and bring that back to the board.
Al? And Mr. Guillory seconds it. Any discussion or questions? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank y'all.
Next, approval of St. Mary Sugar Cooperative Incorporated, number 2023011-ITEC and ITEP application. Dr. Fagenbush.
Yes, on February 26th, we were notified of a request for a tax exemption application for St. Mary Sugar Cooperative Incorporated. This is an exemption that has been tentatively approved by the LED. Tonight we've been asked to do one of three things through this, either to ask for a 30-day extension where we can hear perhaps an economic impact report from Mr. Evan Boudreau. We can, number two, approve, approve the application, or third option is to deny the application.
Thank you. Do we need I have a comment, but do y'all have a motion, Mr. Guillory?
Yeah, I have a motion that we approve the application for the
Okay.
ITEP.
And Ms. Moore seconds it. All right. And we do have former member of the Louisiana State Senate, Mr. Brett Allen.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me to speak tonight, Madam President, Madam Vice President, and members. I am the president of St. Mary Sugar Cooperative, one of the oldest sugar companies in the parish. We're here before you today to get approval for the ITEP. Let me give you a little background about St. Mary Sugar. Not only are we one of the oldest sugar companies in the state of Louisiana, we're the last remaining farmer-owned cooperative. The sugar mill is not owned by some large conglomerate or a board of directors that don't live here. It's actually owned and operated and governed by the farmers, mostly of St. Mary Parish. We have expanded over the years. When this cooperative was started, there was some 300 sugar mills in the state of Louisiana. We're now down to 10, believe it or not. The survival rate of a sugar mill is dependent on the volume that it runs through it. And to have volume, you need additional equipment. So that's why we're here tonight. There is no way, listen, although and I'll speak to the economic impact, although it sounds like a lot of money that we bring in and we bring into the parish, we actually, on most occasions, work on fairly small margins. We're price takers. We're dependent on the market for whatever the market will pay us for the sugar. I like to say we're price takers, not price makers. We don't get to set the price of sugar. So we always making investments on not knowing what the returns will be and such. The economic impact that I know Mr. Boudreaux was trying to do a formal one, but I can speak to that. Last year we generated probably close to $200 million in revenue, $180 million directly from sugarcane, of which 62% is paid out to the farmers. And they churned it into the economies, buying tractors, employing people. St. Mary's Sugar on its own, during the harvest, has a staff of almost 200 people, of which probably 90% qualify for quality jobs, which means they're high-paying, high-skilled jobs that we bring here. It's also churned into the economy. So I'd say a multiplier of at least threefold would be a reasonable number to what the economic impact is to St. Mary Parish. As we expanded over the years, we've not only taken up as much of the cane in St. Mary as we can get. There's another competing sugar mill that we have that is not a farmer-owned cooperative, but probably 40% of the cane that comes here to be processed that we make money on and generate money in St. Mary Parish comes from neighboring parishes. Some from Iberia, some from Vermilion and St. Martin even, and further this way to some extent. If you've been in Leadership St. Mary, you've had a chance to tour St. Mary's Sugar Cooperative. We're very proud of that. My family has been a founding member and we have stayed involved with St. Mary's Sugar since its inception. We are a St. Mary, as the name says. We are a St. Mary company. We haven't moved anywhere. We're not going anywhere. The economics of why we asking for an ITEP today. There's no way we could have paid and taken a chance on paying a $24 million boiler, one piece of equipment, which is a cane boiler that takes the bagasse and actually generates steam that runs the factory. There's no way we could pay the note on that and pay the property taxes at the same time. We need the time to be able to satisfy the note and then generate the tax revenue thereafter. All the rest of the equipment, I mean, we're paying close to $1 million in property tax as it is right now. This will go on the rolls eventually, but we have paid and do pay tax on all the equipment we purchased since the inception till now. So I'm before you today. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have, and I appreciate y'all consideration.
Thank you very much. Does
Thank
anyone
you.
have any questions?
You gonna let me off easy?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor. Any other discussions or questions? Mr. Mancuso.
Yeah, Ms. Black, I need to recuse myself for a potential conflict to Revised Statute 42-1112. We do business with my employer, with St. Mary Sugar. Having said that, though, I would like to point out that I fully support the approval of this ITEP. I fully support ITEPs in general, not on the basis of the fact that everything is correct with them, but the fact that we need to have a fair business climate in our parish to be able to compete with neighboring parishes. So I think ITEPs in general, it's going to go to the state for that approval going forward. But for this board, I would highly recommend that we approve ITEPs as they come up.
You. All right, so we have 2 abstaining. All right, any more discussions or questions?
I
Oops,
would
sorry,
just
Ms.
like
Ansel.
to say, thank you very much for what you do, what you've done for this parish, especially in farming. It's not an easy industry to stay in. And the fact that y'all have succeeded in that and continue to provide for our parish in numerous different ways and an all farmer-owned co-op is outstanding. I don't think it gets the credit that it deserves a lot of times because people don't understand it to the full extent. Thank you.
All right. Oh, Ms. LaSalle.
Mr. Only, I do have one question. Is there the normal stipulation on your IT as all the other ones? Are you going to hire someone that, 2 people or whatever? Isn't that the way we do it?
Can you repeat? I'm hard of hearing, and I apologize.
Since
Since I left the legislature, I've gotten deaf. On
Does
purpose.
Does your ITIP include the fact that you're going to agree to hire 1 or 2 or whatever? Okay, I didn't read it. Okay, well, I just wanted to make sure that.
We will need it as this expansion, it anticipates us being able to grind more cane into the future, so we will need employees, but I think it's in the application that we will do that, and it will all be local employment.
Then we're good.
Thank you.
It's all good. I didn't want to you said we were letting you off easy. I didn't want to do that.
That's okay. I want to comment, I really appreciate y'all having the sugar mill in the field, to have that in this room and show that the agriculture that actually started this parish and a main mover in keeping it moving. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. All right, any more questions or discussion?
I
Ms.
just wanted,
Moore.
for the record, to answer Marilyn's question, is 3 per year for 10 years at an average salary of $80,000 per year.
All right, any other questions, comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. All right. Number 3, announce intent to call election as it relates to the renewal of the 0.45% sales tax renewal. Ms. Voisin.
Included in your board packet is a proposed timeline provided by our bonding attorney, Mr. Jason Akers. For this meeting, we are simply required to perform our first step of the public notice process regarding our 0.5% sales tax renewal. So, as required, I will read the announcement aloud. Announcement of public meeting. Notice is hereby given that at its meeting to be held on Thursday, April 10th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. at the Evans Medine Meeting Room at the Central Office Complex, 474 Highway 317, Centerville, Louisiana, the Parish School Board of the Parish of St. Mary, State of Louisiana, plans to consider adopting a resolution ordering and calling an election to be held in the Parish of St. Mary, State of Louisiana, to authorize the renewal of a sales and use tax therein. More specific details will be prepared and shared with the board with our next set of documents. And since we're asking for the board's permission to approve a sales tax renewal election, Mr. Jason Akers will be present at our next board meeting where he will be able to answer any questions or concerns you may have regarding this renewal election process. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up, receive group health insurance premium to claim summary report. Mr. Perez.
Good evening, everyone. In your packet, you should find my report updated through February. Last time I reported to the board in January, it was for the calendar year of 2024. So we have results for January and February that's new to the board. And we've had so far, for these 2 months, we've had a pretty tepid start to the year, which is where you want to be. For January, I'm not going to go over the details of all the numbers, but we're at 89.2% loss ratio for January and about 86% loss ratio for February. Overall, $2,250,000 in premiums paid in and $1.9 million of claims paid out. So that's about where you want to be. You don't want to start like we had back in 2023. I do have some concern on if you look at the claims for prescription drugs. It leaves very little room for medical claims, for the occurrence of high medical claims at that level. It's still, the prevailing trend is still centered around those GLP-1 drugs. And we're gonna keep tracking that. So we'll take what we can get. This is a good start for 2025. I'd like to open up for any questions, if anyone has questions. All right.
I don't hear any, so I
Okay.
think that's
Well,
it. Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Perez.
you very much.
All right, number 5, approve recommendation regarding property insurance renewal for building and contents coverage for the year commencing April 1st, 2025.
Good evening. I know y'all always love to see me here talking about insurance. The first spreadsheet that I'm gonna go through with you tonight is gonna be your building and contents, your property renewal. I'm happy to report I am starting to see some relief on property rates in Louisiana. Not your personal homeowners, large commercial property schedules is what I'm talking about. And I'm hoping the trend continues, for several years now. I can say I was pleasantly surprised with St. Mary. I wasn't expecting a decrease simply because the Hurricane Francine claim that we had. It's an open claim, it's new, but the carriers didn't shy away from it. They were okay with it, so we're gonna take it and run with it. Column 4 is the renewal being offered with Paul's agency. You'll notice everything's gonna stay the same for this renewal. There are no changes in any of your coverages, terms, conditions, limits. Go down to line 16, that's your premium for this year. And you're gonna see it's at $2,054,706. Right under that, you see the not to exceed wording. Most of you should remember, or may not remember, that in the past 2 years, I've always done this way because this is the premium we have negotiated, your agent has negotiated with the carriers as of today. And you're gonna approve, when you approve tonight, it's not gonna exceed that number. The agent will not pull the trigger to bind coverage with the carriers tonight or tomorrow. He's gonna wait till closer to April 1st. And that's because he's gonna continue negotiating down. So the final premium, when he binds it, could possibly be, good chance, it'll be less than this $2,054,000 that you see on this spreadsheet. But this is the most that it'll be right here. which is still a good $128,000 savings over expiring, so we're happy with that. So I'm going to recommend that you go ahead and approve the renewal of the building and contents tonight at the $2,054,706. And I'm going to also recommend that you continue rejecting the terrorism coverage. Any questions?
All right, any questions? What are the wishes of the board? All right, Mr. Parity makes a motion. Mr. Mancuso seconds it. Any other questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, approve recommendation regarding property insurance renewal for boiler and machinery coverage for the year commencing April 1st, 2025.
Okay, the next spreadsheet you're going to see is for your boiler machinery. Today, they call it equipment breakdown coverage. This is a policy that St. Mary Parish has been having for many, many years. I'm not aware of any claims ever being made against this policy, but it's there when you're going to need it. It covers, just like it says, equipment breakdown, your boilers, chillers, air conditioning units, HVAC systems in your schools, in your buildings. They go out. Those are very expensive pieces of equipment. This is where we would get the coverage for those items. Column 3 is the renewal being offered by Frank's agency, is your local agent. Liberty Mutual is the insurance carrier. There are no changes in the coverage terms, conditions on this policy either. Go down to line 17. This is your premium for this year. It'll be $11,497. It's about a $300 increase over expiring. And I recommend that you renew this policy also.
All right, what are the wishes of the board? Ms. Anslam?
I make a motion to accept this.
Okay, and Ms. Brent seconds it. So Ms. Anslam made the motion, Ms. Brent seconds it. Any questions or discussions? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 7, approve recommendation regarding workers' compensation insurance for the year commencing May 1st, 2025.
Okay, the next spreadsheet that you have, this is your excess workers' compensation renewal. This board has made the decision many, many years back to go from fully funded to self-funding. And it's worked out well, and it's continuing to work out well for you. And so we buy an excess workers' comp policy to cover those large losses. You'll see column 4 on the spreadsheet. And the first thing you'll see is the estimated annual payroll, line 2. It's down a little bit over expiring. It's at $58 million. Expiring was at $62 million. The deductible, your SIR retention, is going to stay the same at $850,000. So you pay the first $850,000, the excess kicks in after that. Go down to line 10. This is your annual premium. You will see that it's going to be $98,239 for this year. It's about a $6,500 savings over expiring. It's not a decrease in rate. They did not change the rate. The rate stayed pretty flat. That decrease in premium is strictly because your payroll was less. This is all based upon your payroll. You'll see right under that option, line 11, the option. Midwest is the carrier writing your workers' comp, and they are willing to offer another 2-year policy for your workers' comp. The current year that we're in now that hasn't expired yet, that's the second year of a 2-year policy that we did. And Midwest is agreeing to issue another 2-year policy. You'll see that premium, it's the $196,478. It's just that $98,000 multiplied twice is all it is. It's not a savings or anything by doing it for 2 years, but it locks in that premium for 2 years, which I always recommend. If we can get a carrier to lock it in for 2 years, and it's a true 2-year policy, it's not a 1 year with an option to renew for a second year. They issue a true 2-year policy, so then I won't be coming back next year for approval on it. I'll just remind you that we did it this year. And I'm going to recommend that you go ahead and renew this policy at the $98,239 for the first year and take advantage of the 2-year policy. Any questions?
Ms. LaSalle? Ms. LaSalle makes the motion. For which one? The 1 or 2 year? The 2 year, okay. All right, Ginger, Ms. Griffin seconds it. Any questions or comments?
I have a question. Things are changing so much right now. Say we get to 2-year and people are getting better claims than what we're paying. Can we go in and renegotiate? Or are we still just locked in with the full 2-year committal?
You're locked in for the 2-year because it's an actual 2-year policy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, approve recommendation to retain services of third-party administrator, TPA, and safety consultant to assist the board with the workers' compensation program.
Okay, on that same workers' comp spreadsheet that you had in front of you, this is the bottom half of that spreadsheet. Because you self-fund, you need someone to handle all of those claims and adjust those claims and pay those claims for you. That's what the third-party administrator does. Currently, under Section B, you're going to see, currently you have Claims Administrative Services out of Tyler, Texas, that handles that for you. They've been doing this for, I've been around since 2010 here, and they've been here that long, so they've been around for a while with you. You'll see their fee for this year on line 4. They're increasing from $21,367 to $29,367, an $8,000 increase in their fee. And this is a flat fee that they charge. They don't charge a per claim fee to handle your claims or anything like that. They charge a flat fee to handle all of your claims. The reason they are asking for that increase this year is because when you look on that next spreadsheet that's in your package, it's the claim summary that I do for you, kind of a snapshot of what your claims are looking like. You'll see that the last 2 years, 3 years now, your claim count is going up. In 2019, you had a total of 86 claims reported that they handled. 2020, you had 80. Then this is when it starts going up. In 21, you had 103 claims. 22, you had 106 claims. In 23, you had 145 claims. And this past year, which we're not finished the whole year yet, this 89 that you see on this last page, that's just for a half a year, 6 months of handling claims. So the claim count's going to go well over 150 for this year, for 24's year. That is the reason for their increase. I'm going to recommend that you go ahead and renew their contract to continue paying your claims. Section C is your safety and loss prevention. Because you self-fund your workers' comp, you have to have, it's a requirement that you have some type of loss control, loss prevention safety program in place. And RiskWise is the company that does this for you. They handle this training, and they come out every so often and do different trainings for your employees. Their fee will remain the same for this year at $12,000. I'm going to recommend that you go ahead and renew that contract also. Any questions?
All right. What are the wishes, Ms. Moore? Oh, you, Ms. LaSalle made the motion. Ms. Moore seconds it. Any other questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
And just as a quick side note, I always show this. At the second page of that workers' comp page, I always show you a quote for if you were to go back fully funded. This year with LWCC, you'll see their premium at $1.1 million. And you're thinking, wow, that's a lot of money. But if you go down to the next section, Section F, the projected cost, what is costing you to self-fund, you have to take into consideration your claims that you're paying out, your excess insurance carrier you're paying that TPA to handle your claims, you're paying the safety guy for your loss control, and you're paying the Office of Workers' Comp, and you're paying the second injury fund assessments. If you add all that up together for this year, St. Mary Parish is going to have paid out right at about $650,000, $649,284. So is self-funding working for you? Absolutely, because that's about a $454,000 savings. If you would have gone with LWCC, you'd be paying $454,000 more than what you've already paid for this year. So self-funding is still working for St. Mary Parish School Board. And that's all I had tonight.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Right, number 9, approval of policy from Forethought Consulting as revised by Hammonds and Seals and reviewed by the St. Mary Parish School Board Policy Committee. A, student use of electronic telecommunication devices, JCDAE.
Okay, so St. Mary Parish currently has a student use of electronic communications. However, they had some things added to the policy, not by us, but by the higher-ups. And so Hammonds and Seals and Forethought had sent the policy. Hammonds and Seals agreed with the policy. During the policy committee meeting, I'll let Mr. Mancuso take over, but there was one change that we wanted to make, and I'll let him explain.
Yeah, so just to add to that, so Bulletin 741 required the prohibition of wearable technology capable of sending or receiving text messages or other similar notifications and a couple other requirements, but they left one thing open to the school districts as a choice as to whether or not those provisions are applicable to school-sponsored events. So their proposed revision had the word shall apply. These provisions shall also apply to any school-sponsored event, including athletic competitions and field trips, which takes place during an instructional day. It's the committee's recommendation to change the shall to may, and that would be at the discretion of the school principals or administrators there. So I'd like to put that policy approval in the form of a motion with that slight modification.
Great. Mr. Mancuso made the motion. Mr. Parity seconds it. Any discussions or questions?
I would also just like to add one thing, just like she said, and want to reiterate, these changes and the use of telecommunication devices is now restricted by state law in our public schools. The additional requirements of wearable devices is coming from BESI, which if we are not in compliance with, we could be subject to action. So that is the reason that we are implementing that in our policies now.
All right, thank you very much. We have a motion, so any other questions or discussions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, number 10, discuss and take action concerning contract with the superintendent. At the meeting last month on, I believe it was the 19th, February 19th, the board voted to allow the president and the vice president to enter into negotiations with the superintendent. Negotiations are completed. The board was provided with the contract. And so at this time, what are the wishes of the board? Mr. Parity? All right, Mr. Parity makes a motion. Ms. Dennis seconds it. Any questions or discussions? Ms. LaSalle?
Yes. I looked at the previous contract, and I have a question. 2 sections. Why was the other employment section left off of this contract? the other employment, whereas if she were to seek other employment during her contract, there were specifications in the contract that says she would have to do certain things, pay amount to reimburse the board for the trouble of having to replace her. And it has happened once that I can remember in my 30 years. Somebody did leave and have us to have a problem and have to go through the process of getting a superintendent. It has been in every contract that I can remember since being here, and I'm just wondering why it's not in this one. I know you don't plan to go anywhere, but the contract normally covers everything for the superintendent and just a few things for the board. And that's one of the things that helps the board.
In consulting with legal, it's not used in any other superintendent contracts that they do. And so it was just part of the process of going through the contract, and it was felt that it wasn't needed at this time.
Yeah, but I also heard that they've only been doing this for 3 years, right?
No.
Oh, 3 of them. They've only had 3.
That's only with the performance criteria.
Okay.
That's not that.
No
Do y'all
reason.
hold any employee do y'all charge employees when they break their contracts?
Employees are not charged, but I mean,
That during the term of the contract, that the superintendent shall not seek, accept, or perform other paid employment without approval by a majority vote. And so.
that's broken all the time, though, by employees. And I've asked that question in the past, why do we let employees break it? But it's more trouble for an employee for us to fulfill that part of the contract for an employee. But for a superintendent, it's a problem.
Yeah, that was an item that was, I guess, in the negotiations asked to be removed. When we were looking at it, I have not seen that particular provision in any of the superintendent contracts I've done, I guess, except for St. Mary Parish. So I guess at some point in time, there was an issue where St. Mary, the board at the time, asked for that to be in there.
Because it happened to us.
No, I understand. And so the other employment paragraph is still in there. It's still the same one that's always been in there. The provisions that were moved were essentially the liquidated damages provisions of it. That, okay, if you do leave your contract early, you owe the board liquidated damages in the amount of $10,000. That's something that, again, me personally, I have not seen that in the majority of the superintendent contracts that I have seen and done. So it's not a legal thing one way or the other. The law says, the law doesn't require you to have that in there, and the law doesn't say that you can't have that in there. So that is something that's just 100% within the discretion of this board in terms of whether they want that in or not.
The majority of this board has never done this. This is their first
She
time.
probably has enough accrued days to go out sick for a very long time, and so.
She does.
I mean, so she could do like any other superintendent and go out on leave and take off for an entire year, plus since we were tasked with negotiating the contract, that's what was negotiated.
It wasn't special for y'all to be taxed with that. I had to do that 2 years ago, and the president, Kenneth, had to do it also, so.
It was part of the negotiation.
All right, one other question.
Okay.
The employee insurance, why don't you want to pay your part?
It was actually just, so St. Mary is not, in order to be competitive, because we can't always offer the highest salary to compete with surrounding districts, in order to even entice future superintendents, we felt like some incentives were could be appealing despite not being able to offer such a high salary, that some benefits could be very enticing for really not even for Dr. Fagenbush, but for future potential superintendents of the district.
Those future superintendents would probably negotiate their own contracts, right? Like she's doing.
Like you did, correct. And yeah, it might not have been done in the past, but it was negotiated on this one. Any other questions or concerns? All right, Ms. Jones?
Okay, with, Ms. LaSalle was talking about with the, contract, I know Dr. Fagenbush has no intention of leaving, but why is it a problem just putting that in the contract anyway? You say you've never done this before, Mr. Evans.
I think that's what he said.
No. What I'm saying is I typically don't see that provision in most other contracts, in the forms that at least we've provided. I guess that was something that was specifically requested, that be put in St. Mary's contract at some point in time, because my understanding is that maybe Mr. Hammonds had done that contract at some point in time. So I'm guessing that was a specific ask that he was asked to put in St. Mary's contract. But again, it's not a legal thing that's required or not required. It's something that's going to be 100% within the discretion of the board in terms of whether they want this in here or not. It was just during the negotiations process, the decision was made, let's remove it. So that's what we have done. But again, it's something 100% within the discretion of the board on this item.
Well, if we have it in our contract now, in the future, if it's negotiable, then, if it needs to be taken out, then we'll take it out. But right now, I don't see a problem with it being in there. And that way, it'd already be there.
I really don't care either. I don't plan on leaving. I've kind of fought really hard for this position my entire career, respectfully. And as you asked, I do have over 300 and something sick days, and I've lost many personal time off days, vacation days every year since I've been a 12-month employee, probably for over 27 years. So attendance is really not a concern. And I do make a public vow right now, unless I have a true medical issue, I will not do as some things have done in the past where people disappear for 6 months or more. I will be here until the last day that my job contract says that I should be here. That's a public vow unless I have a true medical issue.
Any other questions or concerns?
I do.
Ms. Griffin?
Ms. Black, can you tell us what other changes are in this contract from the prior contract?
No, I can do it. So salary increased by 2%. The term is for 2 years. All right. There was an addition to if the district gets any pay raises or stipends, that she would have that.
In other words, just the word stipend.
Stipend was added.
To that section, just to clarify it.
We changed that she had to be found proficient or higher on her evaluation and performance criteria. That changed a little bit. It used to be highly effective. With the changes at the state, it went to proficient. Let's see. She can cash out up to 10 days of unused annual leave at the end of each fiscal year. It used to be they had to wait to the end. And what did you say? Oh, the end of the contract. The health insurance, the medical portion, the deletion of the liquidation clause, and that's, also the addition now with recent legislature, the superintendent's contracts must include higher standards, which include performance criteria. That's another issue. That was another thing. We can't afford to incentivize when she is able to achieve these different things. Some districts can incentivize it, and they do incentivize it, some up to like a $25,000 bonus for meeting each of these. We are not able to do that, and so we added a few other little enticements. Like I said, so if future superintendents, we can't always pay them as much, but so she has some performance objectives that she has to fulfill. And if you need me to go through each of those, we can definitely do that. Another component is literacy and numeracy objectives that she has to achieve. And that constitutes 30% of her performance evaluation. Oh, okay, we can definitely read them. So the performance objectives that she has to,
Yes, this is all in the contract. All of this would be public record.
All right, keep the board informed of material developments which positively or negatively impact the St. Mary Parish School System. Keep the board informed as to the status of board finances and its budget, and shall make such recommendations as are necessary to maintain a balanced budget. Shall timely file and or post all necessary reports, agendas, and or documents as required by law. Shall be an advocate for the St. Mary Parish School System. Shall maintain a visible presence in the schools and in the community, and shall work to strengthen relationships with community and business stakeholders. Shall assist the staff in seeking out all available funding with the goal of obtaining funding to improve educational opportunities for all students. Shall monitor and work towards improving student achievement in the St. Mary Parish School System. Shall at all times be the ethical leader of the St. Mary Parish School System. Shall implement the instructional leadership and or administrative oversight necessary that it is intended to improve the following areas: district and school performance scores or their equivalent, high school graduation rates or its equivalent, employment of certified teachers and administrators, the district ACT scores, employee morale and discipline in schools. Please note that new baselines will be set when the Louisiana Department of Education releases in the fall of 2025 the Grow, Achieve, and Thrive Simulated Transition Scores, which are estimated to be released in October and November of 2025. And then that is Exhibit A of the contract. Exhibit B includes the evaluation instrument, which the last part of it includes the 30% required by law to increase third grade literacy growth. To increase literacy growth for third graders, the measurement will be to utilize the state-approved literacy screener to evaluate growth from the beginning of the year diagnostic screener to the end of the year assessments. And then third grade numeracy, increase numeracy growth for third graders. The measurement will be to utilize the state-approved numeracy screener to evaluate growth from the beginning of the year diagnostic screener to the end of the year assessments. So as you can see, the requirements of the superintendent have also increased. Any other questions?
I do. Okay, so under number 3, the addition is that the superintendent may cash out up to 10 days of unused annual leave at the end of each fiscal year. That's new. And do we do that for any other employees?
No, but we also don't give them core allowances either.
I'd like to amend the motion that we approve I'm sorry, does anybody else have any comments? I wanted to.
Just the reason for the request, if I may, if that's okay? It's really financial budgeting and good fiscal management on my part. At the end, instead of doing them all at one time when I complete, and a huge lump sum coming from the district at one time, instead, this will be placed out throughout the contract, so that way it's not one large budgetary item for the district, nor for myself when it comes to taxes. It's still the same ask, just in a different way.
I'm not sure I understand that. And you get 18 annual days a year? I don't take them. Do you get them? That's in your contract?
Yes, well, I get them as everyone does, yes, ma'am.
You get 18 annual days, and you're allowed to carry over 10. So at the end of your contract, you would probably have 28 days regardless. But this would be paying you for 10 days each year, and then at the end of your contract, be paid for the 28 days.
No, ma'am, I won't be paid at the end of the contract. They will have been deducted.
But you could have annual days right now that you haven't used.
Oh, I have plenty of them because I don't take them.
Exactly.
But
So-
I don't,
but-
this says that's why it's only up till 210, and once that's done, that nothing would be carried over for the next year.
Okay. I want to amend the motion that we approve the contract, removing the request to pay for the 10 annual days. Removing the request that we pay for the 10 annual days yearly. Removing the request for the board to pick up the employee part of the insurance, and adding in the paragraph under, I forget what it is, Mr.
The liquidation.
Liquidated
Yes.
damages.
So I'd make an amended motion approving it with those three changes.
All right, so that would be a substitute motion. So the substitute motion is to approve the contract subject to the changes to reinsert the liquidated damages clause.
Yes.
Remove the language that would allow the superintendent 10 days of annual leave payout each year.
Yes.
And to remove the provision that the school board would pay the employer and employee portion of health insurance. So that is the
Have-
substitute motion.
All right, does she get a second on that? Okay, Ms. LaSalle seconds it. I think Ms. Moore has a question.
I have a question. So the portion about the 10 days of payout at the end of the year, are you asking for it to convert back to the prior way of paying it out at the end of the contract?
Exactly. Just take that portion out of the new contract, which starts at upon request of the superintendent and ends at leave upon the termination of the contract.
Okay.
All right, so any other questions or concerns? Or questions or comments? So the first vote would be on the substitution.
Correct.
If it,
The first vote is on the substitute motion. If the substitute motion passes, then the contract would be, we would have to go back and amend the contract to incorporate those provisions, which amended contracts would then be presented to Dr. Fagenbush. If the amended motion fails, we're back to the primary motion, which was to be to approve the contract as initially negotiated by board president and vice president.
all right, Ms. LaSalle?
I just wanted to say that y'all did a good job. This was a big job. And unless you have done this before, you don't know what to look for. I mean, you did a good job of putting all of the,
This was our second time.
Yeah, your second time, it's true. But it was a hard job to do. It's hard. It's always hard to do. And you have to really be nitpicking to know, balance it on what problems we've had in the past, and just use your judgment about what you would like to see. It's not something personal. It's just a contract is a contract is a contract. That's all.
All right, so Mr. Mancuso?
Just a comment. We're kind of getting into an open negotiation that I kind of disagree with that process. I appreciate y'all negotiating the contract. So I just wanted to say that I don't want to get into an open negotiation. If we approve a substitute contract, it's then kind of back in this back and forth kind of.
That's correct. The contract would have to be presented to Dr. Fagenbush, and it would be for her to accept or reject.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comment? All right, the vote is on the substitute motion. All those in favor, roll call, sorry. Dr. Fagenbush?
Ms. Brent?
That we're voting on the substitute motion. The substitute motion is to approve the contract with the changes that Ms. Griffin discussed.
Oh, yes. Ms. Moore?
No.
Ms. Anselm?
No.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Griffin?
Yes.
Ms. LaSalle?
Yes.
Mr. Guillory?
Quick question. So is it all or nothing of those three items?
That's what the motion is.
Okay. There's one I would like back in, but not all three, so I would say no.
Mr. Parity? Ms. Black?
No.
Mr. Mancuso? Mr. Dennis? I'm sorry, Mrs. Dennis. I'm in a little fog. I apologize. Ms. Dennis? 4 yeses? 7 noes.
Substitute motion fails.
All right, now back to the original motion.
So the original motion is to approve
Approve the negotiated contract.
As initially presented.
All right. Roll call.
Ms. Brent?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Anselm?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Griffin? Ms. LaSalle?
No.
Mr. Guillory? Mr. Parity? Ms. Black?
Yes.
Mr. Mancuso? Mrs. Dennis? 9 yeses, 2 noes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Committee reports. Set time and date for the annual discipline committee meeting. Ms. Jones. Ms. Jones is taking over our discipline committee this year. And so do you have a date and time?
Yes, I spoke with Mr. Holmes and we agreed on March 25th at 4:30.
March 25th. March 25th at 4:30. All right, next, set time and date for the District Climate Committee. So this is a new committee just based on some feedback that we've gotten in the district with some different stakeholders. What we've decided is to have a new committee, and it's currently called the District Climate Committee. It's just a tentative name, but the goal of this committee would be to look at the district, possibly do a climate survey, see about just some climate trends, and what the climate is basically your feelings and perceptions and views of the district and the schools and how all of those things kind of go into it. It could evolve into definitely some different things, but it's a committee that's comprised of different stakeholders. We have some board members, we have a COC or an MOC staff, we have parents, we have a community member, we have administrators of different levels. And so we have custodians, bus drivers, cafeteria workers, a paraprofessional. So we just have a little bit of everybody, and so that we can come together and just promote some positivity for our district, look at some things that we're doing, and possibly make some changes in that regard. But we just want our schools and our district to be the best that it can possibly be. And so Ms. Anselm has graciously decided to chair this committee. It's a big undertaking, and I just really appreciate it so much. And so do you have a date and time?
We're looking at possibly April 2nd at 5:30, so parents would be able to attend this meeting. As far as the board members on there, is everybody okay with that time and date?
Yes, and I did put, this is just a draft of the committees, and so that this committee is on there. We're doing some editing on this, so please look over the whole committee sheet as well and let me know if there's anything that needs to be fixed. But the District Climate Committee is on there, so if you're a member, you are on there. So April 2nd at 5:30. I believe those members are Ms. Griffin, Ms. Anselm, Ms. Dennis, Ms. Moore, and Mr. Mancuso. Of course, anybody is welcome to attend to, hear. It's public, so. Awesome. Okay, so that first meeting will be April 2nd at 5:30. And number 3, the Special Education Advisory Council meeting met on March 10th, 2025. We don't have Ms. McClarty. Didn't see you back there.
Well, I start all over again. We met on Monday here in the boardroom. A quorum was present. We had a quorum. We had a wonderful presentation by one of my school psychologists, Mr. Ricardo Rosado. He does a very good job, and it was on social emotional learning, which we need in this district. He does a lot with that in our district. He presented to the people that was here. We also discussed track and field, which will be April the 4th at West St. Mary Track. We discussed the Arts Jam, which is April the 7th for the elementary schools and April 8th for the high schools. We also discussed some proposed dates for our coming year's special ed advisory meetings. Those dates are September the 15th, 2025, November the 17th, 2025, and January the 26th, 2025. So those dates are set, and I look forward to expanding this council. We just need people to come and attend because sometimes I feel that special ed is left behind. So we need the support for that advisory council. I don't know what else we can do to get it out there so that parents can attend. We do a good job with making presentations to people that needs to know this information, because we often get parents not knowing what is going on with their children or child in the classroom. So we see them when we have problems. We need to see them when we don't have problems so that we can work on those problems. And that is something that I've been trying to work on for a long time. And it seems like a never-ending task. So I'm asking that you support us in those endeavors. Thank you, and I hope you have a great evening.
Wait, one thing before you leave. When's your next meeting?
That was our last advisory meeting for the year.
That was the last one?
Yes.
Okay, so it'll be
Yeah,
starting
those
next year.
proposed dates for next year.
Okay. Yes, I think you mentioned the Art Jam.
Yes, I did mention Arts Jam, April the 7th for elementary and April 8th for high schools. We had to break it up because we have so many participants that night, and it's a wonderful thing. I often invite everyone out to come in and support those kids in that endeavor as well. I see you, Ms. Dennis, you're shaking your head. You're there quite often. So, thank you. It's at the Test Theater in Franklin, so you don't have far to drive if you have time to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McLarty. All right. Any other committees need to set any meetings? All right, under staff reports, our Chief Financial Officer's report, Ms. Voisin.
Regarding sales tax collections, we're 8 months into the fiscal year. While our February 2025 sales tax collections of $1.879 million compared to our budget of $2.058 million were $179,000 or 8.7% unfavorable, we're still $2.8 million or 17% favorable year to date. This favorability is due to a one-time tax audit collection that we received in October of 2024, where the parish collected a total of $5.7 million, and our share of that was 47.3%, or $2.7 million. The financial statements, actuals through February 2025 are in your packet, and I don't have any other significant items. Thank you.
Anyone have any questions? All right, thank you, Ms. Voisin. Next up will be our superintendent's report. Dr. Fagenbush.
Good evening. The 2025 Red Ribbon slogan for the St. Mary Parish School System has been selected. This year's slogan is "Life is a Canvas, Paint It with Dreams, Be Drug-Free." We'd like to express our congratulations to Stanley Oquin, the fourth, a ninth grader at Berwick High School, who submitted the winning slogan. Now we have opened our Red Ribbon Art Contest based upon this slogan, and submissions can be submitted now through March 26th. Both will be presented at a later school board meeting. On March 17th, the St. Mary Parish Schools Industrial Advisory Panel will meet to discuss upcoming events and dialogue as to how we can best work together to serve our students and community in order to help our workforce grow and thrive. Work so far from this advisory panel has already created a joint upcoming graduating senior and general community job fair to be held May 5th, because together we really can be St. Mary Parish Strong. Educators Rising is a grassroots effort that empowers students in our schools to consider being a future educator and school leader. On March 21st, high school students involved in our St. Mary Parish Educator Rising courses and clubs will convene with other students at the ULL Educator Rising Conference. Students will hear guest speakers, network, and compete in various competitions for awards and recognition. And the theme this year is Uplifting the Profession, Think, Believe, Dream, and Dare. In board action tonight, I do want to tell you that I thank you for the blessing with the opportunity to continue to serve in this capacity. Over the past 1 year and 10 months, our district has made significant academic progress in many areas due to the collective efforts of our personnel, family, board members, and community. While changes can be challenging, frustrating, and not always understood, I promise to remain committed to improving support for our school community, ensuring that our students receive a high-quality education. Our focus on every student, every day, means we are committed to best practices for all learners, including those with unique needs and considerations, while empowering the educators, staff, and families who support them. We are fully dedicated to this and will work tirelessly to ensure the success of every student. Thank you for the blessing you have given me. On behalf of the entire St. Mary Parish community, we would like to extend our very best wishes and to the best of luck to our Franklin Senior High School Hornets. Yes, indeed. Tomorrow at 6 p.m., they will be competing at the Legacy Center in Lake Charles. As the defending Division IV non-select boys basketball champions, this marks their third consecutive year making it to the finals. We are incredibly grateful for the fighting spirit and dedication shown by the administration, coaches, and players. Their hard work and determination have been an inspiration to us all. Let's rally behind our Hornets and cheer them on as they continue to make us proud. And the last person out of Franklin, turn off the lights.
All right.
Madam President, hey, just
Mr. Mancuso.
one comment. I want to make sure I got this right in the minutes. The recusal for the ITEP item, I may have misspoke on the revised statute. The revised statute for the recusal reason is 42-11-12. The recusal process is 1120. I think I said 1120 as the reason I was recusing myself and Mr. Parity. So I just wanted to get that clarified.
All right, noted. So can I get a motion to adjourn following the resolutions of respect? Ms. Ansla makes the motion, Ms. Jones seconds it. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Please stand for the resolution of respect.
In memoriam of Diane McAllister, retired school secretary, whereas Almighty God, in his infinite wisdom, has taken from our midst, and whereas her untimely death has deprived the St. Mary Parish school system of this beloved colleague. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the St. Mary Parish School Board and the people attending this meeting bow our heads in silent prayer out of respect and extend to her bereaved family our sincere condolences and express the high regard in which we held her in life and honor her in memory. Let us adjourn this meeting out of respect for Mrs. Diane McAllister. Amen.